So, I personally think that there are a few things that, well, I gotta admit, that went pretty insane. But, I mean, the AFL playoffs has gone pretty well, but we're not talking about this one in this episode. There are a few things I will like to go ahead and let you guys know about, and the first thing is, if you guys don't know about like certain things, like if you guys don't know how basically this podcast kind of works, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe, and because I really go ahead and appreciate it. I basically make talk about Roblox football on this channel every day. If you do subscribe to my main channel, which I'll have a link in the description, I usually play Roblox football. And it's basically a habit of mine to just go ahead and I can talk about one of the things. Now we got that out of the way. Let's hop into the video.
Getting stronger every day. Keep on pushing through the pain. Keep on grinding till we die. Ain't no mercy in this life. There's nowhere left to run away. No, there's nowhere left to run away, run away, run away, run away, run away, run
Alright guys, so welcome back, and this is basically kind of like I'm talking about pretty much talking about this AFL, talking about the AFL thing, but this time I'm talking about I'll think about this a few things, and we're gonna be talking basically kind of a lot about guys who have pretty much been left but not forgotten. When I went ahead and I was going ahead and looking at one of the media shows, which at New Dub Talk, one of the guys that went ahead and was doing pretty good. I think his name is Clippy or something like that. Either way, he went ahead and did a gone but not forgotten thing, and he talked about guys that basically was pretty much had dominated the league. But so the first guy he went ahead and mentioned up was Defuse. And this is something I actually went ahead and I looked at the man. I looked at pretty much them talking about pretty much Defuse before. And Defuse, when he played his first 4 seasons in the league, the man was basically, as far as I've been told, pretty much a passing machine. Now I looked at basically what the all-time record books pretty much I went ahead and said, but I wasn't able to get much out of this. But I did go ahead and I looked, and Defuse was pretty good, as when he in season 1, he went ahead and passed for 1,136 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Season 2 was, well, he got better in a few ways. Went ahead and he passed for 2,201 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. And the man's profile went ahead and pretty much got better. Pretty much was a dominant force. His last season in AFL was in season 4, but he took a huge drop. Off. But when he did play in season 3, well, he dropped off in the stats sheet a lot, but he went ahead, came back, and as for the Washington football team, since I'm not allowed to say that one name again, he went ahead and his final AFL season passed for 1,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. And back to season 3, he went ahead and passed for he was basically kind of usually passed for like over 1,000 yards. And I think even with the Ravens, he went ahead and had 2,222 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 16 picks. The man was good. No doubt about it. And, well, sadly, we weren't able to go ahead and see much of him. But to be fair, how do you make some right decision? There's been some consideration that had he stayed in AFL longer, the man, they think that he would have had 2 rings. And, well, the most rings ever by pretty much a main AFL QB is 2. And that's basically tied, like, there was Def ATL, Kyetra. Yeah, you get the guys. So there's never been a person that went ahead and won a third. Has pretty much has claimed a third ring as a QB. I mean, if there has, then I do apologize, but well, okay, yeah. The next guy that went ahead and talked about was some guy named Topside. And the man basically was pretty much, I mean, though he wasn't like one of the best guys in the league, but he would basically throw toss-ups and expect you, well, make sure you please go ahead and catch it for me. But in his time in the league, the man went ahead and did notch a Super Bowl ring. And that probably went ahead and kinda, that pretty much went ahead and he pretty much went ahead and put some respect in his name right there. And well, yeah. So, even though the dude had some humor, as far as you know, he wasn't like the best being pretty much the best at QB. But let's face it, at least the man was better than Pure Wyvern. Or Wyvern, whatever. Well, either way, the next guy I'm talking about this is White TJY. And then the man as a wide receiver was pretty much, without a doubt, lethal. In fact, he led the league in receiving yards in his first in AFL season 1 with, here's the number, 1,167 yards. I mean, the only other guys that were in the 1,000-yard receiving club with him were those X-Camp 4122 and Math. But Math is still here, but Math has shown that he's basically one of the all-time greats. And White did take a step back in season 2 when he went ahead and had 8 catches for 280 yards and 2 touchdowns. Season 3 for the man, overall, he really seemed to go ahead and fell off after that. But the man was sadly ended up turning out that being the receiving yard king in with season 1, dude fell off, and no one has pretty much heard from him. But so he's basically has shown that he's pretty much kind of a one-season wonder. Savin the Great. Well, this man is pretty much the next guy here, and before there was Turco, or even myself, kind of, since I do play running back in AFL every now and then, This man basically was a pretty much a rushing phenom. And well, I think he could have been well on his way to going ahead and being pretty much one of the greats. He went ahead at 3 carries and 22 yards in his first season, but usually running backs in the league overall they don't usually get a lot of love. So overall, if you get the running back thing, that's kind of a perspective part. Well, Savin did go ahead and rush for 412 yards in season 3. The man was basically, as I quote, "job not done" here. He could turn something out of nothing and be gone for 90 yards. And the man basically is pretty much gone, but he's not forgotten. Meanwhile, the next guy here was Penjuli, and may have heard of his name before. The man basically kind of was, well, he's kind of been a fallout thing, but in his first few seasons, the man was probably a beast. As well, he went ahead and pretty much went ahead and proved that there every single time why he was the best, and pretty much was kind of a chilled guy. But apparently there was some controversy of him starting to go ahead and take advantage of his ego a little bit more, turn it negative, and well, the man went ahead and ended up taking a big boot, and that pretty much went ahead and just pretty much put the cap on. But if there was one thing that people have went ahead and have heard from him, is that no one has pretty much heard from him because, well, he's become more toxic, and people really don't care much about him. Well, moving on to this next style is probably something I've never heard before, but the dude was basically a good dude as well, and I'm talking about Dark Miami. Looking at Miami, the dude basically was a good QB. We got 73 for 132, 1,494 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 5 picks. The man was just simply dominating the league. I mean, although Kelvin 5 was also dominating and there was also Pred, the dude kind of went ahead and got overshadowed at first. But the more time he spent in the league, the more time he became more of a threat. Next season he suffered a bit of a down year with 12 touchdowns, 11 picks, and 1,090 yards. But let's face it, that year, that's when V. Tyler, Calvin 5, Pred, and Kai were basically the kings of the league. Even 33 Dell was basically had gotten in on a few passes, and the man was okay. And that's kind of surprising. I mean, Ashley Fuse was also there. But one guy that also went ahead and dominated the league himself. One dude I should say in particular, but in a bad way, was also the same season that Kira Wyburn also went ahead and took a turn off and had 16 touchdowns against a whopping 37 interceptions. It wasn't even funny. But the dude, as far as people have known, he was basically a quarterback threat. Went ahead and QB the next season for the Eagles. It was more of a backup situation there. Went ahead and QB'd the next season, and then went ahead and took a huge and got pretty much destroyed, knocked out, like pretty much. It's like I'm about to go ahead and end this man's whole career moment to the to a Falcon squad. So yeah. But he was basically known for his time as the Buccaneers QB, and there was actually a big debate about whether who was the better QB between him or the Lord Brad. I personally think that Pratt went ahead and got the last laugh as he stayed in the league longer. But then again, both went ahead and said, yeah, we're gone. Bye. Taunting. Hasta la vista. And this next guy here was Holy Goaty. And the man looking at it, the man was basically... He was pretty much a receiving threat in Season 1 with 37 grabs for 884 yards and 10 touchdowns. And he was Ed Jim's pretty much partner in crime. And no one basically heard from him. And no one has even heard from him. He knows that he pretty much went ahead and did. And all the people know is that he went ahead, he was a troll, and the dude was apparently bald. Which is weird about the bald part, but I'm just going to go ahead and take it. And the final guy here was basically Jake Greenway, who is, without a doubt, can go down as a good QB. As he went ahead, in Season 2, he went ahead and threw 11 touchdowns against 11 picks on 930 yards. But people respect him for how much he pretty much went ahead and gotten done when he was a defender. And when you think about it, that he did have 5 interceptions in Season 2. And I did look at the defensive stats in Season 1. He went ahead and tied for the league lead with XCAM with a whopping 11 interceptions. And the man did go ahead and take some fall off, but there was kind of a legend, and that was confirmed, that Jake Greenway went ahead and pretty much gave the Lord Preds and team pretty much a pretty bad game, as he went ahead and forced a whopping. Here's the number. The man goes ahead and pretty much had 8 interceptions in one game. In fact, when I went ahead and looked at this, he pretty much accounted for pretty much 8 picks in one game. And that's kind of really scary. So you gotta go ahead and know that, well, that kind of got it hard here. So now that we go ahead and look at these guys went ahead and possibly went ahead and pretty much dominated. But then again, there's so many other guys in the league that basically were dominant in their time too. Cole Monte was one guy that you wouldn't want to mess with in the early leagues. And, well, he was pretty much a good receiver, actually, in season 1 as well. But Monte pretty much gave up his league ways of being awesome into getting a YouTube video career. And, well, the man basically has done pretty good, as he has around 58,000 subscribers, which is pretty much kind of dominant. But he hasn't really went ahead and dominated as he used to be. The man goes ahead and he does check on the league every once in a while. So yeah. Either way, guys, thank you guys for going ahead and watching this video. I'm your boy Brown DC. I'm gonna go ahead and and saddle out until our next upload. See you, saddle up, saddle out. Peace out, guys.